Okay, we are recording. Hello, David.
We have two. We've got two microphones.
We've got a mic each. How fun is that? So, this is the first ever time we've sat in my room and done this.
A pilot.
Looking all pretty. Got two lights, got two mics, got a new camera. Ooh. Yeah, so welcome to whatever this is called. We'll come up with a name another time. I have no idea. I'm Meg. This is my first ever thing that I've ever filmed ever before in my life. This is David, my flatmate and best friend. Today we're just going to do like a bit of a deep dive into Saltburn and give a few opinions, unpopular opinions. Going to talk about symbolism and the costumes and stuff. And we thought we'd do like a little laid back type atmosphere vibe. Yeah, so you could potentially, could be a podcast, could be a YouTube video. Not sure yet.
Yeah, I think it's going to be fun because we're not just random people, we also study film.
Yeah.
And plus collaborating it with like just enjoying film separately from studying it.
Yeah, because we're just like geniuses and stuff.
Yeah, we're literally filmmakers.
Yeah. So we're also going to drink some, is it cava that we've got from Christmas? That stuff. I think it's cava.
Yeah.
Should we pop the bottle? Sparkles and champagne.
Or we still have this? Or just
oh, should we drink that first? Should we drink, or should we drink sparkling first? I don't know, man, but it'll be fun. Okay, let's go. You want to give an unpopular opinion, or do you want to...
One of your points and then one of my points.
Okay, so I was going to talk about some of the costumes because I thought they were really, really interesting, especially around the birthday party type situation. I was going to like start with like Venetia. She wears like a simple black dress, but she has like this like kind of like body chain, and it's like a spider web, right? Which is really interesting because she also mentions like right at the end, you make an Olivery web. Like, do you know when she's like having like a monologue at him?
Like you're nothing. You just
she's like, all you do is weave your Olivery web, and it's like, ooh, interesting. Like, you know, I thought that was really interesting how they put like the spider on her as well, because there's a lot of things they just mentioned like in passing in the film, and you don't realize that they're actually in with the plot itself. Go perfect. Woof. Okay, slow. I can't do loud bangs, guys. And I was also going to mention how she's like the black dress, like the little black dress, is very much used as like a kind of like trope of like the femme fatale type like situation. Like in a lot of films, like the femme fatale, like bad bitch, like nobody understands her, nobody gets her, you know. And she wears this with her web over the top. But so she like seems like a femme fatale at first, which is like, she's like a femme fatale. She at first seems like she's like mysterious woman, and then it's uncovered how vulnerable she is.
Yeah, but also like she's also not stupid at all.
No,
like,
not at all.
At first you think like, because Farley talks a lot, and especially at the beginning you think he's very simple but like very intelligent.
Yeah,
but like you gotta realize just because he talks a lot, I think Farley is a lot less intelligent than her.
And I was going to mention as well, Farley's got a really interesting costume because he's got a fucking donkey on his head, right? And obviously you don't like recognize him at first, but then what's his name? Oliver recognizes him, and he goes, "How did you know it was me?" And he goes, "Signet ring," which is really interesting. I thought, like, he recognizes him by his ring, showing how perceptive Oliver is. And like when you're watching the film, you're like, "Wait, how did you like realize that so fast?" And then it's like, actually, he's really, really smart, and he's manipulating everyone. Crazy. But if you think about like the donkey, like symbolism wise, it's obviously a Midsummer Night's Dream theme party, right? And the donkey in A Midsummer Night's Dream is this guy that only really cares about himself, and then these fairies come along and turn him into a donkey. So it's interesting because throughout the film he seems like kind of an asshole. I think like he only really cares about himself. He wants the Saltburn like experience, and he wants that to just be his life. He doesn't care about Oliver. He doesn't care that he's poor. He doesn't care about him. Like, he just wants it all for him. And then he gets turned into a donkey right at the end, and then you don't really see him after that, apart from obviously the next day, and they're all sad, and he gets chucked out. So it's like, the
family itself doesn't pay a lot of attention to Farley. Yeah, because he's been there for such a long time. They just kind of got used to him. But he wants that special treatment that Oliver is getting. Yeah, because the mom is obsessed with him. Like the second she's like, oh, the eyes. Yeah, the eyes. Yeah. I think that's crazy. I think the mum's a really interesting character as well. That's like another topic.
Yeah, but like that's a whole other thing. Okay, carrying on with costumes. I also put Felix because he just wears an angel costume, but it's really like basic. He's wearing jeans, a top, and wings. Like there's nothing else really to it. And
it's kind of white. I think he's got like just one linen shirt. But usually, does he wear a lot of white? I don't remember if he wears a lot of white.
Can't remember. But the angel costume is like, he is like the most innocent, sweet person there. He is the one with the kindest heart, you know what I mean? Farley's not as nice as him. Oliver's definitely not as nice as him. Like, the mum isn't as nice as him. The rest of them seem all pretty corrupted, but he is just like himself, you know, like unapologetically. Like, he doesn't need to be anyone else. He doesn't need to, you know, be someone else. I don't know, it's just really interesting. And also the fact that it's so like minimal effort compared to everyone else's costume. Like everyone else is a little bit elaborate. Like Oliver, for example, he wears this full white suit that's embroidered, and then like horns, like actual like antlers, like the deer. Yeah. And then Felix just don't like jeans and top and wings. And he's like, yeah, like.
It's because like he's very like upper class, and that's not his first party, and that's not his last party.
Yeah, it's just another party for them. Yeah. Like his mum just obviously throws these all the time. Yeah. And the fact that it's so like, she's like, "Oh, we have to throw you a party. Do you want 100 people? 200
people?
And he's like, what? Like, okay.
Imagine us throwing a party for 50
in
people,
tiny
literally 10 people is
the
already
whole
like...
entire place would be like turned upside down. Me filming one video and the whole entire place is a mess already. And then like imagine with like 50 people here. No. Insane.
I think our housewarming was the most...
We got a noise complaint. Can we talk about the noise complaint? The passive-aggressive note.
And also, it was like... It wasn't the fact that we were loud. I think it was drunk people going downstairs, and those stairs, and our stairs are like cracking.
So we have like scaffolding around our entire like flat, right? And when you walk up them, it's kind of like metal on metal noises, right? And then like we had this housewarming literally the first or second day we moved in, and then the next morning I walk downstairs. There's a passive aggressive note from one of our neighbours, and it goes, "You woke us up at like 2 a.m. Thanks, a pissed off neighbour." You know, when you have like anxiety, like when you're hungover, like anxiety. Oh my god, it made it 10 times worse. So bad. I felt awful. But
also, she's not the only one that's got work to go. Like,
I mean, yeah, and it was only like a one-off thing, but I think maybe she would have been like worried that we were going to do that like regularly. Oh, yeah. But like we're like old people. Like all I literally the only thing I do recently is like
we're second years. We don't do parties.
First year was crazy because it was campus and everyone was doing it. Second year, I'm literally an old woman. I'm in bed by like 11 if I don't have work. Like, literally. And if I have work, I'm going back at midnight, going to bed ASAP. You know what I mean? Like I don't do anything else. That's cute though. Literally,
my routine is like the same. Like in the morning routine, it's not like waking up like this every fucking morning because you party every fucking. For the first 3 months of uni last year, it was like, how did we survive?
Yeah, God, I don't know. Yeah, so Oliver wears like his deer/stag costume, which I thought was really interesting because he's like a prey at first glance. When it's the party, you have no idea that he's going to be like this crazy like evil person.
Oh yeah,
spoilers.
Which is what really good about the way it was like. All of the scenes were linked together that you don't know what's going to happen. You can't predict it. You might think of what might happen, but you can't just predict it. And you don't get bored at the same time. Each scene has its own meaning, like in a little like bit. Because I watched the director was talking about how like even the little props, like the type of cigarettes they've put on tables that like there for 2 seconds.
Oh, really?
What kind of like coke?
It's all symbolism.
Yeah,
that's crazy.
They all put effort into each like.
That's so interesting.
And also, she also said that they barely didn't let him to have piercing, so she was fighting for him to have a piercing as part of his character.
Did he actually get the piercing?
No, it's
fake. Oh, that's a good fake piercing.
Yeah, and also he only had it for while he was in Oxford, because once he back at Saltburn, he had to take it off because the mum hates like facial hair and stuff like that. She thinks it's unhygienic. Yeah,
so it's kind of like him being like really him and then going to Saltburn, having to like conceal part of his identity to his parents, which is so relatable. So relatable.
Yeah,
like going home for Christmas and like all your relatives are there and you have to like dial back your outfits. It's something that I don't do, but like, isn't it? Anyway, back to Oliver. So I was watching this video. All of this information I found is from this video that I just watched now, and it's really, really good, by Lucky Teeth on YouTube. Credit. Definitely watch it. She talks about the symbolism in the party scene in Saltburn. It's really, really good. But yeah, she talks about how he's wearing obviously his deer or stag costume, which is like a prey at first glance. So it's prey at first glance, but he's got moths embroidered onto his suit. Okay, which is interesting because Venetia says at the end in her bathtub scene, she says you're like a little moth drawn to the flame, referencing obviously Felix being like the flame and Oliver's the moth being drawn to it. Interesting, right? So that's like embroidered. You can't really see it, but that was specifically made apparently for this.
I didn't even notice the moth.
Yeah, nor did I actually until I watched that video. I thought it was really interesting.
Also, the theme of the party was midsummer.
Yeah, it was. So he's like a deer, like, and that's cool. Like, that's very midsummery and very like woodlandy, which is cool. But
because I didn't watch Midsummer like only recently, I watched Saltburn first and then Midsummer, which is what I found.
I mean, it's not Midsummer, not the one you watched. It's Midsummer Night's Dream, which is a Shakespeare play.
But still, when I watched Saltburn, I thought it was a crazy movie, but then I watched Midsummer.
Crazier,
like,
right?
Yeah, I was like, no, Saltburn is actually like not that bad.
Have you watched like the extended cut of Midsummer, or did you just watch like the one?
Not yet.
The extended, it's like 3 hours long, but it's like it's a lot like slower, and there's like a lot of things that kind of like make everything add up. Like there's like
watch it,
but it's so long. I watched it and I was like, oh my god! You know, you keep checking like how long it's got left. It's like I was like that.
Midsummer was crazy. When I was watching, it was like,
it's so gory. It's so gory. Like I did not expect. Like I thought it would just be a lot more like psychological thriller, which it is for the most part.
Yeah.
But then they smash people's skulls in.
Oh yeah, I was so like
shook when I first saw that. I was like,
at first I was like,
gagged.
oh, like they gotta just like put their hands up.
Yeah.
And then and like because I'm very curious, I went back and stopped at the moment where the head goes like.
You want to have a good look at it?
and Max got like so freaked out.
Oh my god!
He hated it so much, but I had to look because, like, as a filmmaker, how do you do that? Because it looked when you stop it.
Yeah, like who made that prop? Like who did that?
Yeah,
who saw that in detail? Who thought, what does the inside of a brain look like?
Like, how does it smash us into a fucking concrete?
I hope they got a pay rise for that. They did good. They ate.
Like just when the guy tried to take pictures of that book.
Yeah. Did you see the TikTok too?
No. They in Midsummer.
Oh my god, insane! And then they just get, and then oh my god, with the face on the face. Did you see that? He has someone else's face, like pinned to his face.
Like what? How do you like what? How do you like what? Why? Like the whole situation was crazy. Like, but like people sometimes on TikTok talk like how she just found herself. That's her new family. That's her new family. No, that's equivalent of getting radicalized.
Yeah,
like
it's insane.
It's not okay.
They fully brainwashed her. But it's interesting though, because throughout the film you're always like kind of like torn. Like in Midsummer, you're kind of like, you want her to be happy because she's been through so much shit. But you can also see she's been manipulated. But also, isn't it kind of satisfying at the end when he's being burnt alive and she's just looking at it like, isn't that kind of good? I kind of ate it up. Like when she was smiling and stuff, I was like,
I think she was smiling because she was getting manipulated into.
Yeah, that's what I mean. But you're also kind of on her side as the audience. You know what I mean? Because you kind of see things through her eyes.
I was kind of just being shocked. I don't know what I thought. I was just like, what the
no thoughts, head empty.
Yeah. Like I was like, how did
like just like looking at her facial expression, like, oh my god, when Oliver and Jacob, not Jacob, I'm thinking Jacob Elordi. Oliver and Felix, we're talking about characters here, not actors. Oliver and Felix go and meet Oliver's parents, and he turns out he's lying.
This is one in my notes.
Horrible.
Why did he not just let him stay there? Because he lied about his parents. His mum is sober and his dad is alive.
Yeah.
And I don't understand why he took him back to Saltburn, very annoyed and told him to leave. Right. He just could have just kept him there.
That's so true.
Put, all of his stuff just.
That's so true. I mean, you could kind of headcanon it. You could kind of say well, he didn't want to embarrass his parents. He didn't want them to be angry at him because obviously there was a lot of stuff going on with that dead redhead girl. That was just there for no reason.
Oh yeah. Also, but also he could have just go in a car with him and be like, oh yeah, by the way, you staying home.
He could have just drove off. He could have just drove off.
Like bye. See you back at university. He was like,
but the cringe that I was cringing when he drove into that driveway, I was like, no. As soon as I saw the house, I was like,
Mm-hmm.
And there's a fucking water sprinkler watering their grass outside, and it's that his parents are together and not alcoholics and not dying. Are you kidding?
He's from the middle class. Also, I don't know if you noticed, and I feel like it's not that big of a thing, but when in the very beginning when they put names on the rocks, he put dad.
Yeah. Well, he's not dead, so he's not going in the water.
Yeah.
Next up, sex scenes were unique. What's this?
Oh, because many people talk about scenes are it's disgusting. Yes, it's disgusting. I mean, as I said, for me, and what I've read, not many movies will have men drinking women's water and then eat her out.
Yeah, right.
I feel like it was quite,
interesting, right?
I feel like it's.
But also, right. I mean, they kind of. It's so calm. Hello. I feel like they definitely did that because they knew there would be a huge uproar on TikTok, because TikTok reacts to fucking everything,
bro.
Everything's interesting. Oh my god, the eating her out scene. Oh my god, but if we're being so honest, right? We probably all know someone that's been 8 out on a period, but it's
it seems like a taboo. It's you're not allowed to.
What? Yes, the fuck you are.
And I feel showing it first of all, kind of.
I mean, I think each to their own. Do you know what I mean? Obviously, some people find it a bit more weird and disgusting. And yeah, that means there's a taboo around it. But there's also some people that would be absolutely fine with it. You know what I mean? If you're that comfortable with your partner and you really want to have sex with them, but they just happen to be on their period, but you both feel comfortable with it, each to their own. Go for it, bestie. Put a towel down, go to town. Do you know what I'm saying? But that was him manipulating her, though, wasn't it? That was him saying I don't care. I really like you. I don't care that you're on your period, whatever. I'm still going to go crazy. That's him manipulating her because she is touch deprived. Mm-hmm. She's not at uni like the rest of them are. She seems like a lonely girl, and Felix doesn't like it when she is obviously sleeping with his friends. Mm-hmm. So she's been kind of left on her own for a very long time, it kind of feels like. And then all of a sudden this guy's coming on, yeah, I'll do whatever you want, girl.
Also, back to that. Do you think Felix got jealous romantically or platonically?
I kind of there was definitely so many romantic vibes at the start of the film. Mm-hmm. I fully went into the film thinking that it was going to be a gay romance film. That's what I thought.
Or at least I thought it.
But it wasn't.
They didn't kiss, and it kind of left us confused.
Okay. Right. Thanks so much. Okay. Part 2. What were we saying? What were we talking about?
I think split into that into part 2 because we're yapping a lot.
Okay, should we move on then?
Yes.
We are yapping so much. Was Oliver meant to look like a teenager?
Oh yeah.
Because
Barry
Keoghan, isn't it? He's a good looking. I think he's unconventionally attractive.
Was this guy
a teenager? I'll edit it on the screen. But that's crazy. Also, Jacob Elordi, I don't think he looks like a teenager either.
But at least I was able to enjoy his presence on screen because in Euphoria, because his character, you just can't bear anything
in Euphoria,
he does.
though, Euphoria is just like so unrealistic. Like Euphoria is just so like
the writing is not like the way wild. He shouts. Nobody, I don't. It's very like dramatized. It's like theater.
Yes. What are you talking about?
What the fuck?
What the fuck? What the fuck?
Like twice.
Okay, and she goes, okay.
This is like theater. I feel like Euphoria is theater acting.
What are you talking about? That's literally blackmail. Okay.
Also, the way he went, okay, that's a skill. Went from American accent in Euphoria to very, like...
Oh, yeah, mate.
Like, I think the director said, like, they've spent 47 days, or, like, literally just under 2 months filming
so it was a fast project then.
Yeah,
that's really interesting. Yeah, but he ate, but also I do think Jacob Elordi looks a lot older than people in uni, like us. Do you know what I mean?
think with Oliver, it kind of shows the people of all ages can go to university. Yeah. You don't have to be 19 to start your undergraduate. The same with Jacob. I think he looks younger, and I feel like he looks like...
But there's something about Barry Keoghan's looks, Oliver's looks. There's something about his eyes that are just so cunning, but also so innocent. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Like, because obviously for the first, like, hour of the film, hour and a half of the film, when you haven't really guessed that he's, like, completely cunning, you are just, like, kind of like, oh, he's just a little guy. He's just a little guy. He's just a little guy, you know? He's just a little guy, short. And...
So he's not short. He's just short comparing to Jacob.
Yeah, because he's, like, fucking 7-8 foot tall. Like... like, he's super tall. Anyway, I think there is something about Barry Keoghan's looks that really work. Because, obviously, as you say, they don't have to be teenagers to go to uni, but also, for some reason, it just works. I don't know. Like, he's just got that kind of face that's, like, cinematic and interesting to look at. And he can be the bad guy and the good guy. Yeah. And it's just like, interesting.
Like, it wasn't high school. It's not like in Riverdale that cast 25-year-olds to go to high school.
Yeah, but also, they just like cake them with makeup and like stupid props and stuff. And they make them say stuff like, I'm weird. I don't have friends and stuff like that.
Have you seen me not without this hair? I'm weird. Like, what? Like, what?
Fucking Jughead, bro. Crazy character.
Jughead, fucking, what's his surname?
I don't know. I never watched
Jones.
I never watched it. I watched like 1 episode, 2 episodes, and then I was like, I'm so done. This is awful.
Maybe not the last season, because I don't know. I think
when you see stuff like Riverdale, and you're like I obviously saw like the first couple episodes, and I was like, what, 16 when it first came out, right? I still thought it was shit back then. It's just like, to me, they must be like big studios. They must make stuff with the purpose of it being like really bad.
Because they're like obsessed with the first season,
right? But did you not think that this is a bit shit? Like when you first started watching it, did you not think it was a bit cringe? Season,
that's when it
really. It only set on the 3rd season. That's crazy.
Because I loved.
I couldn't even last fucking 3 episodes, man. I was just like, nah.
I like the mystery and like whatever it's because I also just moved to England around that time.
Yeah.
So it was like
I guess like learning English and stuff.
Yeah, right. It was very contrasting to what's happening there to England and Lithuania.
Yeah.
Like the mystery, the fact that they were kind of journalists in their school. I was like, oh, I want to do that. I want to be writing articles for my school.
You want to be them? I love that for you.
Them, yeah.
I mean, it's going to happen. You're going to have your magazine soon. David's working on a magazine. Exciting stuff. No spoilers though.
In my brain at the moment, but
yeah, need to manifest into reality. Next question, or unpopular opinion. Oliver initial plan wasn't about inheriting Saltburn. He wanted Felix.
Oh yeah, because when I spoke about this movie with my teacher on Instagram.
Yeah. Who?
My teacher from Lithuania.
Oh, okay.
I was like, oh yeah, like the guy was crazy. Like we were like, what the fuck? And she was like, oh yeah, because he just was very greedy and he really wanted that house. But like, I don't think he just wanted Felix.
Did he even know about Saltburn?
No, I think he was obsessed with Felix and very hyper-fixated on him. But because he couldn't get him, he used his manipulation skills. That didn't work on Felix. But also, on the rest,
did he want Felix or did he want to become Felix?
Could have been both. That's bisexuality. Welcome.
Yeah, no, same.
Exactly.
I've had that feeling so many times before. But it's interesting though, because then it's like about sexuality and everything. I think it's so interesting because they obviously, as I said before, they never really directly addressed the gayness, apart from him saying like I loved him. But that could also be platonic. That could be like you know, like it could be so many things. So it draws in kind of like a straight audience because they can take it as literally as they want to. But it also draws in a gay audience because it's very clearly like a bit of bisexuality in there.
But at the same time, it's very okay to tell your straight friends, if you are straight, that you love them. Like, yeah,
exactly. I do that all the time. I do that all the time. Yeah, but as I was saying, did he want to be Felix or be with Felix? Which is really interesting because, right, going back to the costume, circling back to the costume, he is obviously wearing his antlers, right? Which in like African, European, like folklore, basically what would happen is a demon or a supernatural being would come and kidnap people's children and replace them with like another child with like weird kind of like animal-like features, and the only really reason why you could like know that they were a replacement is by observing them when they think that no one's looking, which is really interesting because obviously he has the antlers, which is kind of reference to that, you know, like it's weird and not human. Yeah. And then also you've seen what Oliver does when he's alone. It's weird. He smashes that mirror in. Oh, yeah. Literally has sex with like the dirt on top of his body, which is crazy. And also the bathwater scene. You've seen how he acts alone. Yeah, so it's like you could kind of say that he's the replacement that's kind of slowly coming to like take his place, which I thought was a really interesting take, you know. And then the costume could kind of like represent that in the party, you know what I mean? That could finally like visualize him taken over because obviously he kills him that night. Okay, so the cinematographer was Linus Sandgren, and he ate everyone up. He ate. Oh my god, what about that one bit in Saltburn where they're saying happy birthday and they'll forget his name? Horror. That's so me though. I cringe. I'm made of like half my uni friends. Like crazy, right? I feel like it's very upper class of them to actually say it out loud because they think whatever they say does not have consequences. Yeah. But forgetting name, because it was a big party, it's kind of understandable, but at the same time, they could have just happy birthday to you, like, or prepare. Okay, so I think this shot is beautiful. Beautiful. Yeah, so Oliver's obviously looking out onto the mess that has been made from his party the night before. And the butler guy, oh my god, you had so much to say about the butler guy. Okay, rewind. We're talking about the butler guy. First thing, when he appeared first on screen, yeah, because I was watching him with my friends on Christmas, I stopped and I was like, wait, where did this actor play before? Because I recognized him and I'm trying to remember where exactly I saw him. Yeah. They were like, oh no. But then I realized that I was just making him coffee. He was just coming to my work. Like, was he a regular? Yeah, he was just a regular. That's crazy. Always with his dog. With his dog? That's and it was so like... Was it a cute dog? I think so, yeah. Uh-oh. I'm a cat person. But he was just like... he was just one of those customers that you kind of... He's the vibe, yeah. You like to serve because we have regulars that are super annoying, and the regulars that are like... I love that. Super like nice, like but always had something to chat about. And then I found out that he was an actor only like probably before my last shift. Before I literally the butler in Saltburn. That's crazy. Yes. That's a crazy part as well. He was you said something about when we first watched the film. You said he's a representation of how the house feels. Oh yeah, like itself. Oh no, he's a personified. He's a representation of the house itself. He is the house. Because then I was watching it. I watched it twice. I watched it another time with Arlo, and I was thinking to myself like, how does he personify the house? And it's crazy because the whole time he's so uncomfortable with Oliver being there, and he's so good at it, and then he just disappears at the end, and it's almost like the house has kind of like lost its personality because it's like evil replacement. Oliver, he's come in and had just killed everyone, removed all of the personality, all of the happy memories, gone, taken by Oliver. That's how doing his coke. They were casting Duncan. She just said to like people that were like to the candidates like, "You are the house." Like you just acted out. That's and crazy. Director said that he specific like he clicked with the role almost like immediately. Yeah. And I can see that like it's a very role that seems not big. Yeah. But it's a role that like but he did that though. Yeah. Okay, more cinematography. I really think how uncomfortable this setup is really good. You already know they've got this huge house, right? This house is a fucking mansion. But yet when Oliver first meets the whole entire family, they're all kind of like squashed together in this little living room. Have to like move to make room for them on the sofa when you know they've got like 16 sofas. You know what I mean? Yeah. Like they've got sofas, but they're all like, oh no, let me make room. And it's like, what? It's almost like they're so kind of pushed together, like into each other, like uncomfortably, that they have to like kind of like move other people out of the way. There's always someone that has to be out of the picture. You know what I mean? It's a constant rotation of people in a circle because she makes her redhead friend. Next thing, love her. This is such a. She's like something else, isn't she? Something about her. She was very genuine. I just loved how genuine she was. Because she just doesn't know. She doesn't know shit about anything, does she? And I love it. Herself. She wasn't pretending to be anyone else. Yeah. Like sometimes she could be silly, and she would not be ashamed of that. Like she would talk about how I was a lesbian once. Yeah, I was a lesbian once. It's crazy. But the women are so wet, and men are so dry. Yeah, she didn't give a fuck. She don't care. She does not give a fuck. But yeah, they ate this film up. I think it's a very beautiful film. I think we touched on all the things we wanted to touch on. I think. Is there anything else you'd like to add? Not that I can remember. I really like what we spoke about. I think the film's really well done. I think they ate it up. I also think there's an element of it was kind of made for TikTok. Like I think it's a really good film. I was really entertained the whole time. I think it's just very modern. Yeah, but there was also part of me that was a bit like they knew that this was going to be viral. They knew that this was going to go on TikTok and people were going to freak out over like the gay and the not gay and the and the bathtub scene and the vampire scene, whatever they call it. Like, oh come on! Like they knew this would happen. So there's part of me that's a little bit skeptical about that kind of stuff, but also they did eat. Like, it was you kind of know they ate. No, it was like to create that kind of movie. Yeah.
It takes effort so much.
People were saying that. Everyone's like freaking out over like Jacob Elordi, and I get it. But also, like, me personally, I don't really.
I think after, because there's such a contrast between him in Euphoria and there, he's such a like cutie patootie. Like you want to like hug him. He's like, oh, you wanna be his granny because he's being
his granny.
Like he's babushka because he's being really like even though he's upper class, but he's like he's just a pookie.
He's just a little pookie.
He's just a pookie. Like I hate obviously his character in Euphoria.
Yeah.
The whole fucking show is like.
But he's Pookie Bear in this one.
Yeah, he's
very
such a
versatile.
And then now I realize that even in real life, he's so like chilled out.
Yeah.
Like, and you're like,
mate, yeah. Wow, it was so raw. Where's my backy? Oh my god. He was the essence of Ra's Where's my backy.
Yeah.
Like, you gotta come to Primrose.
Oh, it's a black tie costume.
It's just. Oh my god, I know that.
Oh
my god.
Yeah, it's just black tie.
He goes, thank you, mate. Thank you so much.
Oh, but he actually like ate this up in terms of accent because as an Australian, like during he's Australian. Like
no idea.
What was the perceived pronunciation? PR. Yeah, like very like posh Queen's English.
Yeah.
Like
great talk. With that,
we will be back.
With Jacob Elordi being a little Pookie Bear. It's been good. We enjoyed ourselves. The editing's going to take so long. But we're going to do it. We're going to do it, okay? Thank you so much for watching. Thank you, everyone. Okay, camera work.
Cameras?
Work. Okay, bye, guys.
Bye.
Bye. I can't find the